Stop the cap.
I'm reading the comments from my last video. The comments are just sad. And some of you guys want to run around and you want to talk about black male leadership. And I hate to say it, but some of you guys just act like women. I mean, I got men with gray in their beards talking about black women talked about us and said lies about us, and you're worried about Media Man and his information being accurate. Yeah, because that's what real men do. They come with accurate information. Bottom line, like I said, you got to have the total numbers. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to have the total numbers. Some of you all need to take a math class. I mean, it's sad, but that's just the facts. Some of y'all need to take a damn math class because some of you all acting like, all percentages are the same. All percentages are not the same. If you want to play that game, okay, I offer you 20% of $10 versus 20% of $10 million. Which one are you going to take? It's not the same number. I can assure you it's not the same number. You need to be precise about your stuff. Otherwise you're going to be made a fool of. And it's not that all of Media Man's information is inaccurate, but he draws conclusions that he doesn't have the information to make. He doesn't have that information. He's pulling information from multiple sources. That's problematic because when you're giving a report, the information that you have in front of you is what you use as your source, and you discuss that source. And then when you want to discuss another source, that's another conversation because that information was pulled from somewhere else. Even if you try to, run the numbers, which I've done, depending on what source you go to, it'll say different things. It'll say, 33% of black men are married. Then it'll say 27% of black women are married. Then it'll say 32% of black women are married, right? Like, and I'm saying, if we're just talking about black people, right? Again, you got to know what the actual numbers are because, there's more black women than there are black men. So if I say 30% of black women versus 30% of black men, the black women 30% is going to be a higher number. So you can actually have, something like, 33% of black men marrying 27% of black women. But just know that the ratio of black men married to black women, in order for it to be a black couple, has to be 1-to-1. But the percentages can be off because the black women have a larger population. These are the type of things that need to be taken into consideration, as opposed to just people running around, 20% of black men do this, 20% of black women do that, 20%, 30% of black men do this. It doesn't work like that because you're dealing with different population numbers. Right off the top, you got 1.79 million more black women than black men. So, I pulled to me, what I think is a dangerous statistic, not because Media Man is wrong in what he's saying. It might be accurate. Okay. But I don't know where he's getting this information from. And when I asked him, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He said he's a statistician. I asked him, okay, I need this further broken down. And, he want to, well, it's because black women are over the fence. Nah, dude, you don't just get to throw that up there. I need to see that you crunch the numbers on how many black women are over the fence. If you can't provide that information, you can't draw those conclusions. Serious accusations require serious evidence. Plain and simple. So, I took this as far as it could go. But, just so everybody knows, so you have these numbers in your mind so that you're aware. But actually, let me start off with what Medium Man was up here throwing up, right? And again, some of these numbers are accurate. Some of these numbers are what it is, based off of him pulling the numbers off of black demographics. But even still, like, black demographics didn't give a number, a total number for black people, like what the black population is, right? Which arguably fluctuates from year to year. But nowhere on that black demographics is the actual total population number for black people. It's just and 25% black men here and compared to Hispanics and blah 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 blah. And you're not getting any of the what the number is. You know what I'm saying? It's like treating percentages like they're real numbers, and they're not real numbers. They're representations of total numbers, but they're not real numbers. So anyway, Medium Man here says 19.91 million, which I got wrong the first time, by the way, because I said 19.1 million. That was, I missed the 9. Doesn't change the numbers too much, but, in order for accuracy, you got to say 19.91 million black men. In America, 33% account for, this is what Medium Man is saying, 33% account for black men who are married, 6.5, 6.570 million, but the number read long form is 6,570,300 black men. And I don't know why he has these greater signs in here, but 85% of that number are married to black women, which comes to 5.584755, which is 584,755, right? Which is pretty much the number I got. You can just say 5.5 million. Black men married to black women is, so he talked about black men married to black women, and then he goes 69.4% of black children are born out of wedlock. And then he has 30.6% of black children are fathered by black men within marriage. Right? But again, at the top, 33% account for the black men who are married. See, what he did here is he subtracted 69.4 from 100, and that's how he got 30.6. That's how he's doing the math here. Let me double check. 69.4, 100 minus 69.4 is going to give me 30.6. Right? So already I think we already assessed that 33% of black men are married out of that 19.91 million. But then he did, you can't do this. You can't do this. Your number was 33%. Now you're saying it's 30% by simply subtracting. And again, we don't know that all those children that are out of wedlock are fathered by black men. We don't know that. So why is he saying that here? Right? And this is part of the problem, with these numbers, because even as like, Captain Solo and I, we went through, this stuff. And one of the biggest issues, even when it came down to breaking down, the kids, was the black children. Like if you, like, we Googled, like, what is the number of black children, the total number of black children, and it came out to, it's like 4.1 million. Now I go to other sites and it says that only about 500,000 black children are born each year. But it's all predicated off of having one black parent. I was like, red flag. Race needs to be reorganized. Red flag. Right? So you got to be careful about where you get your information from. But, continuing with his point, he says 30.6% of black children are fathered by black men within marriage. But again, we started with the 33%. Now we're down to 30.6%. So we already got discrepancies going What he said, 5,584,000, whatever is 1 point. What is this? I'll keep doing decimal points. Anyway, 1.7 million black children born within marriage. Born with it. What is the? Wait. Which comes out to 5.8 black men married to black women. What is he drawing this from? Again, assuming that first off, all married people have kids. That's wrong. Second thing, we don't have the total number of black children. What is the total number of black children? If you're going to, again, erroneously use the 30.6% as opposed to using the 33%. What is the total number of black children so that we can figure out, what these numbers are. Then he goes on to say, and it was like just snaps to the conclusion, which means 13.2% of unmarried black men are making 69.4% of the children in the black community, right? This is what he posted. This is dangerous when somebody asks you to give a further breakdown, and they can't do it. And yet now this has been put out there. And me, I'm guilty of it because I gave Medium Man the benefit of the doubt. But I'm like, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This is dangerous to put out there. So anyway, I gave you some of this on my last video. I'm going to do it over again. Some of you who feel that you're bored, but these are numbers. I need you people to have these numbers in your head. Again, this is based off of that blackdemographics.com, which I don't like because they don't like to give total numbers. So we don't know what we're really dealing with. Freaking 20% of what? 85% of what? What are we dealing with? That's what we need to know. So anyway, 19.91 million black men total. That's the total number of black men in America. 46% of those men are fathers. Now, I looked around. I saw everything from 51% to 54%. Medium man went as high as 57%. It's numbers somewhere in there. Now, the fact that, everybody's saying these different numbers, again, this is why you need to know what total number. How did you get to 51%? How did you get to 54%? How did you get to 57%? This is why these total numbers are needed, because the percentages are trash. I said it before. It's like if there were two couples in Antarctica and one of the couples has an abusive man and he's abusing his wife, and then the headlines say 50% of the relationships in Antarctica are abusive. It's like, okay, well, how many people are in Antarctica? We know it's the two, but somebody could think that it's 10 million black couples in Antarctica. That's a way bigger number. You got to know these things. Raw numbers are important. So anyway, 46% of the 19.91 million comes out to 9.15 million black men are fathers. So 46%, that's a minority of black men are fathers out of the total number of black men. The other 54% of black men are childless. That comes out to a grand total of 10.76 million. So we have 9.15 million men who are fathers, and we have 10.76 million black men who are childless. And of that 19.91 million black men, going back to the original number that Medium Man used, 33% of those men are of the 19.91 million are married, which gives us a whopping total of 6.5 million black men. Okay, so we have 9.15 million black men who are fathers. We have 6.5 million black men who are married. And we have 10.76 million black men who are childless. Are you following me? Okay, now let's go over to black women. So, when it comes to black women, there's 21.7 million black women total, which means the difference between black men and black women total is 1.79 million. This is where you get Oprah's, they're not available. They're not available, right? Saying that there's more black women than black men, right? But honestly, that's not even where the problem lies. 61% of black women, of that 21.7 million, 61% are mothers, which comes out to a whopping 13.273 million black women. Okay? So that would be 13,237,000, blah, 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 blah. Right? So that's how many black women are mothers in the black community. 39% of black women don't have any children. And that comes out to 8.463 million black women. Okay? So right off top, we have 9.15 million black men who are fathers, and we have 13.237 million black mothers. That's a difference of about 4 million. So we have 4 million more black mothers in the black community than black fathers. Mind you, both of these, and this is the problem with the whole needing to reorganize the race, this is just describing parents. This doesn't describe who they're actually with. If they're with Becky, if they're with Maria, if they're over the fence, whoever they're with, Ming Su, whatever. I'm saying even with the black men who are with non-black women, we still have a discrepancy of 4 million. There's more black women that are fathering children, mothering children than we have black men who are fathering children. Then when we get to the childless people, we have 10.76 million black men who are childless, and we have 8.463 million black women, which means that we have, it's to be exact, it's 2.297 million or 2.3 million if you want to round up. So between the childless people, there's 2.3 million more childless men than there are childless black women. These are what the numbers are. And these are the childless people, so they can't be accused of being over the fence or being with anybody. Okay, but we have more black mothers in the black community than black fathers in the black community, and we also have more childless men in the black community than we have childless black women in the community. So this is where a lot of that, men complaining that they can't throw a rock without hitting a single mother, and the complaints from black women about black women being unwed, because we have so many women who are mothers, they have children, but they're not married. So then I went on to look at the percentage of black men who are married, and I tried to remove those that are over the fence. And I think we already covered this. Our media man covered this in the post that he has, or that was in his video, but it says 19.91 million times 33%, again coming from blackdemographics.com, is going to equal 6.57 million, right? And if I times the 6.57 million by 0.85, which is the 85%, right, to get 85%, then I'm left with 5.5 million, right? So that 5.5 million, again, we need a 1-to-1 ratio. There should be 5.5 million black men married to 5.5 million black women, which should give us a grand total of 11 million married people. Okay. And if I subtract the 6.57 million from the 5.5 million, I should get 1.07 million, which is the number of black men who are in interracial marriages. So it's about a million, just over a million, in terms of that. And pretty much that's about as far as I can take it. I tried to go with the, break down the kids and everything, the kid numbers, Just they just don't look right to me. Um, we tried to break down the kids out of wedlock, by subtracting, 9.1 million are men with their fathers, and then you got 6.57 million black men who are married, to black women, which gives us 2.85 men who have kids out of wedlock by black men, right? Yeah, these are black men. Okay, these are the 2.58 million men have kids out of wedlock. These are black men's numbers. Then when we go over to women, we have the 13.237 women who are mothers, right? And out of that number, we have, and see, this is where things get funny, right? Because we should have 5.5 million black women who are married to black men. It should be 1-to-1, because you can't have a black couple if it's not a black man married to a black woman. But when I put 27% into the 21.7 million, which is the total number of black women, when I put 27% in, or try to derive the 20%, what is 27% of that number? I get 5.8, which is more than the 5.5. So how do I have more black women who have kids? Again, please correct my math. I'm just saying I'm using the numbers coming from black demographics. If I take 21.7 times 0.27, I get 5.85. That's more than the 5.5 of black men who we did the math on who are married to black women. What's 5.8 minus 5.5? What was it? 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 is no. 0.359. I gotta. That's giving me a percent. I don't want that. I want the raw. Is it the raw number? In any event, I'm saying, you see the discrepancy? That's not adding up right there. And then what do we have? If we subtract the 5.8 from the 13.237 million, I get 7.4 million kids out of wedlock by black women. So 2.58 black men have kids out of wedlock, but 7.4 million black women have kids out of wedlock. This is just the kids out of wedlock. Because we're not looking at the married people. We subtracted them out, remember? So if anybody wants to come through and help break this math down, be my guest. But I think there's two problems here, is figuring out what's the total number of children, and then figuring out how many of those children are out of wedlock. Then we can really we can figure out where we're supposed to be in terms of who's having whose kids, how many people are over the fence, how many black women are over the fence and have mixed kids, and those kids are being counted as black that we need to remove from the community. And the same thing applies to the black men. How many of them are over the fence? We got the, just over 1 million, but how many of them have kids over the fence? And how many, and how are we gonna, get that number? And then now we're working with something. Then we can figure that out. But we need raw numbers, not this percentage bullshit. Okay? That's not giving us a clear enough picture. So when Medium Man says, 13% of black men are fathering, 69% of the children, I'm gonna need more than that. I'm gonna need more than that, and I'm gonna need it to make sure that there's no mixed children in there, or children that are being one drop ruled to death, in that category. Because when you say married when you say married black people, you know, you gotta that doesn't mean just married to black men or women. It doesn't mean that. You gotta you know, remove those numbers. You gotta know what percentage, you know, are married. You know, and then again, you have to what percentage are married to just black people. Now we got the number on black men, 85%. You know, demographics.com says, you know, it's 93%. I don't know how they're getting to 93%. I don't, you know, maybe I'm not the most, you know, mathiest scholar in the world, but, when I put in 21.7 times the 27% that it says, I get 5.8. And that's more than the 5.5 of black men that is supposed to be married to black women. And the black women should also be 5.5. So I don't know where I'm going wrong. Maybe I need one of you, you know, Goodwill Hunting type of people to come through and break this shit down. Please break it down in the comment section if you can. You know, but, you know, this is why this stuff is important. I say one thing that we've, you know, basically come to a conclusion about. There's definitely more childless black men than black women. And there's also more black women who are mothers than black men. So that argument can be put to rest. And then we can kind of get into some more serious things. So with that said, I'm going to end this video. Like I said, if you guys who are, you know, solid at math and I think that I don't even think the problem is the math. I think the problem is the fact that we're trying to derive numbers that we don't have. And we need those numbers. You know, we need those numbers. You know, we just, you know, it would be great if we just had, you know, the number of black men who are not married and how many children they fathered, and the number of black women who are not married and the number of children, you know that they fathered or mothered. I keep saying fathered, but mothered. You know, just, you know, so that's what we need. You know, that are just black, not any of this. Oh, I was over the fence, and you know, that's not going to help us. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Maybe I'm missing something here, but that's as far as I'm going to take it, because to me, it's like I'm at the point in this calculation where it's getting too speculative, primarily because I don't know what the total number of children are. If I say 2.58% of black men have kids out of wedlock, and then I say, you know, 7.4 million black women have kids out of wedlock, is that accurate? What is the grand total of the number of children, you know, that we have? I need that number. That's the number I need. But anyway, so that's all I got for y'all. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Raw numbers are important. I'm going to say it again. Raw numbers are important. You cannot just simply look at percentages when the numbers are different. If that's the case, you know, here's 20% of $10 while I keep 20% of $10 million. Anyway, that's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.